What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 121 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. My name is Dave Knittel, here with my brothers Christian and Matt to discuss stories from around the soccer world. Christian, hello.
Hello, David.
You excited that I'm here live in person in your bedroom?
It's just a dream come true.
I know. It's just so amazing. Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing good. I just, when you guys were talking in the beginning, oh, there it is. I feel like I hear something, like a movement of something. Is the microphone, shaking back and forth?
No.
Ooh, when you move it.
Well, I moved it like that, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, the only thing is Christian, no, when Christian moves, the cord is probably hitting the mic cord. So you need to sit still. Can you handle that for a podcast?
I definitely cannot.
All right. Do we think, bear with us here, people. We're adjusting on the fly. Do we think there's any sort of way that my cord can reach over there so that this isn't coming between your legs? Because clearly that's an issue.
Hold on. Let's do this.
Bear with us here, people of YouTube, as we try to work out a technical issue before
We probably should have been using this
we get things started. Yes, we should be. Okay. One sec. We're gonna just do a quick adjustment. Matt, entertain the people while Chris and I figure this out.
Juggle.
All right. I think it's pretty funny that Christian left on my left side, and then I know because you have to walk around the table, you just look to the right. It's like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
cool. You went from left to right.
Nope.
All right, you're gone. People of YouTube, Sixers are on. In about 45 minutes. I know you care very much about that, so trying to get this out of the way fast.
I think it will. Yeah, we're going to try to make this a quick one. Apologies here. Bam. There we go. Hopefully we should have no more issues, Matt.
We did it.
Okay, but still be careful banging into the table. It's going to rock.
Move it over a little bit.
Move whatever.
That way.
Move what?
Your body.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. All right. We are settled, and Matt wants to watch the Sixers. And Matt, give us a heads up if Christians or myself is doing anything causing problems. All right, but we're ready. Do you have a trivia question?
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
All right. We're going to get to it. Say hello to us. Interact with us as we go along here. We would love to hear from you guys. You know what? I'm going to put this over here. So that'll just add an additional element where we're not.
Should I ask who's in first in the USLFPA? Because I know the answer.
No, you shouldn't, because nobody cares.
I feel like I know the answer,
but
too.
very few people care.
Everyone cares.
Okay. So, yes, Christian has a trivia question that he's getting to.
I got it. I have it.
Okay. All right. We're going to jump into the podcast here. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 121 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast. My name is Dave Knittel, here with my two brothers, Christian and Matt, to discuss stories from around the soccer world. Matthew, hello. You were holding some fingers. Everything okay over there?
Yeah, you said 121. I said 1, 2, 1.
All right, there you go. How are you doing today?
Doing good, David. Thank you for asking. I'm excited about the Sixers about to come on. Excited to just engage with my brothers.
We're excited to engage with you as well. How are you feeling? Are you recovered from yesterday's hangover?
Yes, I definitely am. It was a rough start to yesterday. I will say that.
All right. Well, we're glad you're recovered, Christian. Hello. How are you doing?
Dave, I could not be any better. You're right here next to me.
Right here. We're nice and cozy over here.
Just right next to me.
Yeah.
It's going to be
quite.
Things? Don't touch me.
How are things?
I hate you when you're touching. Things are just swell, Dave. I've got a lot of soccer going on right now. Playing all the time, watching all the time. Just really living it up. And my team just took the lead in our league that we're in, and it's a pretty big deal.
Well, there goes the trivia question.
Oh yeah, I mean there it goes.
Well, that's exciting. We're excited for you. People may be hearing a better sound coming from your microphone because we have a new microphone for Christian, which I'm excited about, and I might just end up buying Matt one as well because Matt, you sound great, but
I don't think it'll plug into his phone though.
Oh yeah, you don't have a computer, do you, Matt?
I do, but my computer. Oh, I didn't use my computer because there's a reason. I don't have the microphone.
All right, whatever. We'll take this offline. Doesn't matter. But Christian sounds better. Guys, I'm doing fantastic. Happy to be home, loving life, being back on the East Coast, talking to people, have some meetings coming up and things like that. So it's good. Enjoying life. Christian, do you have a trivia question?
I do have the trivia question, Dave. Can you guys name the most title winner I hate the way that I just phrased that. Damn it.
It's staying in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, editing's going to be quick.
Okay. So I don't even know how to phrase this question now.
The most title winner
has won the most titles in each of the top 5 European leagues.
Okay. All right.
And how many they've won.
Okay. All right. We'll give our guesses on that one. I know England, and I think I know Paris. I don't know how many, but that's a good trivia question. We'll think on it. Listeners, you'll think as well, and we'll give our guesses.
England and Paris
at the end. No, it's not Paris. Did I say Paris?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. My mind's been erased, and I'm trying to keep this thing flowing for Matt's sake. Matt, over to you for Matt's Megs.
Thank you, David, for that great intro there. Welcome to Matt's Megs. Today, we're going to discuss something that happened this weekend in the Liverpool-Chelsea match. And I just want to talk about Gonzalo Higuain and just the state of his conditioning at this point in his career. Okay, so I try not to bash players too often. I will apologize to Alejandro Bedoya for saying he's the most overrated player because, oh my God, Higuain cannot run anymore. Christian, what do you think? Do you think it's acceptable that he still gets a contract to show up that out of shape?
I mean, honestly, he came on the field and Chelsea looked significantly better once he got on the field because it freed Hazard up.
Yeah.
But,
I was going to say, because Hazard.
I think it was more Hazard into a better, more effective
I know,
position.
But I still think that he does. I mean, even when he did get the ball, he was just looking to pass. He can't run with the ball at all whatsoever. And, I mean, he just can't get into the positions to score because he can't catch up with the play. Obviously, he can't catch up with Hazard. That's not even a joke about that, or Willian. But it is unacceptable that his condition is the way that it is now. He's a professional athlete, and he's one who has been at the top level for how long now? How can he possibly be in the condition that he is now? It's ridiculous.
And he's only isn't he only 31? Yeah. It's not like he's 37, 38, sort of starting to age out of, his body breaking down. I mean, yeah, he's played at the top level for a while, but it is somewhat surprising to see him this out of shape. Now, it's not like he's ever been in just freak, athletic shape or anything like that, but it is getting worse.
Okay, so I'm not sure what his contract is, but how long do you see him in the Premier League?
I believe he's on a loan deal with an option to buy. Is that correct? So I don't know. I don't know why Chelsea would buy him, to be honest with you. I know he did very well for Napoli when Sarri was there, and that was the logic behind this, but I just don't think he's suited to the Premier League.
I don't think that they have the option to buy because of their ban. I don't think they can buy him.
Well, no, I thought that they negotiated it before they took him on loan. So because of that, I think that they do.
So I feel like they have to buy him then.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I mean, they still have Giroud. I don't know why they're not playing Giroud. I heard on, I think it was the Football Weekly or whatever podcast with James Richardson. They said Chelsea hasn't lost all season when Giroud has played. They're 15 wins, 2 draws, and no losses. Now, granted, a lot of that is he's playing matches with teams that they should beat. But, we've all, or at least Christian and I, and Matt, yeah, you agree. I mean, Giroud is one of the most underrated strikers. I don't know why he's not playing. And Hazard, when the lineups came out, I turned to you and I said, I can't believe they're playing Hazard as the false 9. He's not as effective there. As soon as they moved him out wide, things completely changed for Chelsea. And I just thought it was not the right decision from Sarri in that instance.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. So I was going to ask opinions on the game. You guys pretty much nailed it. Any more comments on it?
I think it was a great game. It's enjoyable to watch.
It was interesting to see Salah, pull up from outside the box and just rip a shot.
I've never seen him strike the ball like that ever.
You don't really see that, and so it was interesting to see that he's got that in his tool belt as well. So,
okay, so where do you guys draw the line with celebrating against your former club? Is it acceptable ever, or just because he played for such a short time?
Everyone should celebrate every time. They no longer play with that team. They should celebrate. I don't care. The only slight instances would be if a Gerrard or Lampard when he was playing for Man City against Chelsea. I could see that. It has to be at least 5 years, if not 8 years. But it also depends on how they left their team. If they left under, amicable terms and there was good feeling from, player, the team, okay, I can understand not celebrating, but the team didn't want you anymore. If they sold you, Salah can celebrate his ass off. That's where I stand.
everyone should celebrate everything, always, no matter what.
There's too much negativity in this world. You know, we need more positivity. Celebrate.
Listeners who aren't watching on YouTube, please just come to this point in the YouTube stream and look at Dave's face as he waited in anticipation for Matt to ask that question.
I was cocked and ready.
He was frozen.
To let it go.
Okay. All right, you guys, anything more to add?
Do you have something?
Oh, yeah, I didn't get your opinion.
Hey. I think that it's okay for people to celebrate against their former teams. Yeah, I agree that like if Gerrard or Lampard were to play against their teams, it would have been a different animal altogether. But who cares at this point? They've played like Salah didn't score last year when he scored against Chelsea. I feel like the first goal may be okay. Your first goal against your former club, but once you continually play against them over and over, that's not really your team at all whatsoever anymore. You're on your current team. And yeah, it's weird that first time you probably know people, you're friends with players on the other team. It's still fresh. But now he is fully ingrained into that Liverpool culture. He is a star player at Liverpool, like specifically with Salah. It's fine for him to celebrate. And he didn't even go crazy celebrate. Like he just stood there like a peaceful celebration almost.
Yeah, tree pose for the yogis out there. Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's more disrespectful to his current team not to celebrate. Yeah. So that's for me. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that celebration.
Okay, I think I'm in agreement. I think it's no problem for him, but longer tenured players, I think it makes sense. Wow, congratulations, Christian, on taking a drink and not making a noise.
Yeah,
I know Dave was very very
he
happy
made a
about
noise
that.
though, a little dink, dink.
Yeah, but that's much better.
Okay, so moving on into Argentina. So there was a fan that from River Plate or River Plate.
Excellent pronunciation, Matt.
Yeah.
However you want to say.
Okay, River Plate. Who got a tattoo of a barcode of the YouTube link to the highlights of the 2009? Was it the one that just happened?
Yeah.
Copa Libertadores final where they won 2-0 against Boca, and one of the Boca fans reported this as what was the
copyright infringement.
Copyright infringement. There you go. And now the video has been taken down, so this guy just has a barcode on his forearm for no reason. Dave, address this. Go.
I mean, it's stupid. I mean, it's cool that the guy wanted to get a tattoo to support his team, but this is just so dumb. Like, I don't know. It was kind of cool, when they first put out the video and, you saw the tattoo artist take the picture with his phone and then the video pops up. I mean, that's cool to an extent. But, I mean, yeah, what is this guy going to do for the rest? It's just lines now at this point. It's stupid.
Christian?
So one of my best friends growing up got the Black Flag. If you follow that band at all, they're literally just 3 black lines, and it's like a flag, I guess, shape, but not really. It just looks like a barcode. He got that on his side, and we made fun of him forever for getting a barcode tattoo, and we're just like, okay, yeah, that looks really dumb. That's not good. So, Ward, I hope you're listening and you enjoyed that. But yeah, I don't understand. It doesn't look good. The thing was taken down now, so he'll never be able to use it. It is ridiculous. And I think it's funny that he did it initially. To get a permanent scar on your body tattoo of just it's not even a barcode. It's like the phone.
The QR. Yeah, it's the QR scanner.
Yeah. It looks absolutely ridiculous. And it will not go away unless you pay thousands of dollars and goes through a lot of pain to get that off your body. Why? There was no reason to get that tattoo. Get something that's actually remembrant and you can show at any time. With the internet, things get taken down all the time. That was just a huge mistake. I get that it was kind of funny, but haha, joke's on you now, bro.
Is it really thousands of dollars to get a tattoo?
I think it is, yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've really looked into it recently.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just thought this was a hilarious story. I thought the soccer world should know about it. If you didn't heard about it, anything else you guys want to add?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude Matt's Megs. Listen to a little bit of music, and we will be right back.
Yeah, we will. There you go. There's
I almost hung up.
He's ready to move on. All right, you guys want to do this?
What was I looking up?
Stadium scene plug?
How much it costs? Yeah.
To remove a tattoo. Yeah. All right.
I'll start. I'll look it up when Matt's
okay
going. All right. Check out our partners at Stadium Scene if you are going to any stadium in the US or Canada for any sport. They have information on what bars and restaurants to go to, what to do around the stadium, what events are in the area, and just where to park around the stadium. There's all this good information. Check them out at stadiumscene.tv. Matt, what else do they provide?
They also partner with content creators like ourselves and offer you things like blogs, podcasts, YouTube videos, all that good stuff. And again, it's not just soccer, it's all sports, North America, US, Canada. It's great. You should check them out.
Absolutely. They also have a partner portal. So if you have your own YouTube channel, podcast, blog, or anything like that, check out their partner portal. You can join that and be a part of our community. We're involved with that, as well as tons of other awesome partners. And they'll promote your stuff and get you on their website and all of that. So check them out. Again, stadiumscene.tv.
Your P's are very pronounced.
Peter Piper pickled peppers. Pick a yeah, I don't know what the words are. But thank you. I try to enunciate. I'm trying.
Ow now, brown cow.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys I am going to be a voiceover person?
I love Scotch. Scotch.
What?
I am. Since I have all this podcast equipment, trying to pick up a little bit of extra cash. I'm gonna try to be a voiceover person.
For what?
Like
freelance websites. Like basically, I can apply to all kinds of jobs. One of them was like a video game. I might be in a video game. I'll keep you guys posted.
Can I be Batman?
Way. You're like Bill Burr.
I can be Batman.
Yep, exactly like Bill Burr from what was he in? Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
All right, Christian. I know this. What time are the Sixers on?
7:30, right, Matt?
I thought it was 7:15. It might be 7:30.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Whenever you're ready, just go ahead.
Hey everyone, welcome to Christian's Corner, right in the middle for the middle brother. So we're going to start off here at Liverpool because, it's just the best place to start. So Rafael Camacho is a youth player for Liverpool. He has been played at right back in his 2 senior appearances for Liverpool, but he's been playing at striker, almost an attacking mid position when he starts for the under-23 team. He scored a hat-trick this week, and after scoring that hat-trick, he took to Twitter and said, "I do not know whose idea it was, but I will prove that they are mistaken about my football. I am not a right defender. I'm an attacker who scores goal. This is my DNA. Happy to score 3 goals and help the team in a win versus Leicester today." So this has been kind of pointed at Klopp to say, is this directly like almost a challenge at Klopp saying, why are you playing me as a defensive role? I am a born striker. I know how to score goals. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you think about a player coming out and like kind of saying that in social media?
Yeah, I think this is just immature kind of youth. I think he probably feels that way, but this isn't the way to go about it, especially for someone like Klopp, who he prides himself on having good relationships with players. And I think if Camacho, came to him and had a mature conversation and said, listen, I understand with the first team, you need me to fill in. I'm happy to get game time wherever. But at the long term, I see myself here. I think it would have gone over much better. Also, it's the end of the season. I don't think he's going to get a ton more game time. This is something that should have been handled in the offseason. So I don't think this is the right way to go about getting what he wants.
And do you think that he's going to almost put himself into the market now and he's trying to let teams know, hey, I want to get out of here and I want to play in my position that I think's the best?
It could be. Yeah, I don't know his contract situation. I don't know, who his agent is or what his relationships are, but this might be a play for him saying he doesn't want to be a right back and he wants out of Liverpool to get a striker contract, but I don't know enough of the backstory.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think about these comments and why he would be saying them?
Okay, so, I understand it. He wants to play a certain position. I know it might not be the smartest career move because if he can get a spot at Liverpool at, a top club to play outside back, that might be the best. But, I'm not here to say maybe he wants to be a striker. Maybe that is what he's going to be best at in the long run. So I think he's looking out for himself right now, but not really going about it somewhat the wrong way.
Club. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a center midfielder, and that's where he wants to play, but he's being played at right back. You see it with Kimmich at Bayern Munich. And same with Sergio Roberto, who is a center midfielder. They're all being kind of forced into those wider positions, and that's just how you break through. And these players are just so technically gifted, and they're so good at crossing the ball, and they're good in attack. And that's what Klopp he was approached about this, and in response, he said, well, my fullbacks are playing almost as wingers most of the time, and we need that attacking quality out there to swing the ball in and be involved in the attack. Yeah, like, what do you think?
Matt, did you have something to say before?
So I don't know about like playing center mids, like holding mids and going to outside back. I feel like they're so interchangeable. I mean, you're there to play simple. Most of the time, you're in shape, you're getting forward, and you're trying to create. Whereas, playing striker and playing outside backs are two completely different things. So I understand center mids, and I think that's normal. But like, if you're a striker scoring goals, I don't think you're necessarily best at outside back.
I also think that's an oversimplification. I mean, a lot of these guys aren't just defensive, simple, center midfielders just playing it simply. A lot of these outside backs are getting forward. They're playing, creative passes. I mean, in the modern game, I think the outside backs are so important now because the middle and with the pressing attacks, like the middle is just chaos a lot of times. And so a lot of these more skilled players are getting pushed to the wings, whether it's midfielders or, attacking wingers or outside backs because they have a little bit more time to be creative. And so I think it's just a natural evolution of the way the game is played now.
Okay.
Boom. Soccer theory.
Yeah, especially with some of these teams that you really use their outside backs in pretty much to be attacking. Yeah. Like that's really all that they are.
I mean, Liverpool, they're like among the assist leaders in the entire league.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Robertson is, I think, in second in the league, and he's tied with a bunch of people, but he is in second with assists, and Trent Alexander is right behind them.
Yeah, and if Mendy was playing for City, I'm sure he would be up there. I mean, City uses their players kind of in a similar fashion, and yeah, I think it's just the way that the game is sort of evolving.
It's true, and Kimmich, I think, was one of the leading assisters in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. We can just see up Matt's nose. This camera angle is so ridiculous.
I like your fan.
Yeah, it's a nice fan.
I haven't seen you guys in forever. I don't know what.
Well, here we are. We're right here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you because we're here, but that's okay. We just don't want to lose you. Hopefully your phone doesn't overheat. All right, Christian.
All right, so speaking of Kimmich, we'll go on to my next topic here.
Let's do it.
And he said he was ready to leave Bayern Munich when Carlo Ancelotti was still in charge at Bayern Munich. Do you think it's smart for players, and I guess it just depends where they are and who the manager is, but I'll just frame the question this way. Matt, do you think that it is smart for players to stick it out when they know the person in front of them, such as Philipp Lahm, who was starting at right back, is retiring soon? Or do you think it makes more sense for them to leave and really start to get minutes at a younger age?
For me personally,
one more thing. Especially when they're at one of the top clubs already, and there's no way up from there.
So for me personally, I think playing time is the most important thing because, I mean, dips in form can happen, and especially at a big club, if you don't perform, quickly, they're going to replace you also very quickly. So I think getting game time, especially when you're younger, I think that's more beneficial to their career.
Okay. Dave?
Yeah, I think that's pretty well said. I think my initial response was going to be, it's going to depend on every situation. But yeah, I think, Matt, I think Matt's answer is almost perfect, so I don't really have too much else to add. Good job, Matt.
Wow. Okay.
I'd also like to point out.
You too.
Thank you. I'd also like to point out how you phonetically spelled Ancelotti's name.
I did
in our Google Docs.
I just didn't want to make a mistake.
It's not even close to how it's actually spelled, but that's okay.
It's kind of close.
It's kind of close. You got a CH in there. I think you got too many O's.
There's an A in the front.
There's an A in the front and an I at the end. There you go. Yeah, but yeah.
Ancelotti. All right. So, I mean, I think it makes sense for him to wait because he knew Philipp Lahm was retiring. Everyone kind of saw coming. He was saying it for a long time. And even though he was only, Philipp Lahm retired at 33, 34. He was really young. Yeah. Kimmich knew that
it's going to be a weekly thing.
Yeah. I mean,
how old is Philipp Lahm this week?
Yeah. the future president of German football. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it makes sense to get game time, but if you know the person in front of you is going to be retiring and that position is going to be open, it does make sense to wait it out, especially if it's only a year or two, and you keep training with the team that you know you're going to be playing for.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone else have anything to add on this topic?
I don't know how you record from this couch every week. We've been trying. I have no back support here, and we did a video earlier this week. All right, I'm good. I'm situated now. Apologies for that.
Okay, so I'm going to go into my next topic if Dave's okay with it.
Hey, I'm supported now. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to podcast.
Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick review and get your opinions on the Champions League. And so this past week on Tuesday, we had Liverpool versus Porto and Tottenham versus Manchester City. These games ended with Tottenham winning 1-0 against Manchester City and Liverpool won 2-0 versus FC Porto. Matt, we'll start with you. What do you think of the Man City game?
I think Aguero not scoring the penalty early, we knew it was going to be uphill from there. It didn't look like we were going to necessarily score, throughout the rest of the game. I think if we were playing almost any other team, I would be worried, more worried about the second leg. But we're going home. But it's I don't know. It's just like it's a club of bottlers. You know what I mean? Tottenham. You're gonna bottle it, so.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Most of our listeners, I feel like, are Tottenham fans. So
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe they have any fans, huh? So Dave, what did you think of that game?
Yeah, it was a great performance from Tottenham. Obviously, losing Harry Kane is going to be really big for them. I know, Christian, you disagree, but I think it's going to be a huge loss for them. And they played very different when he wasn't in there, and that's when City started to really roar back into life in the second half there. And Dele Alli being out, which I'm not sure if he's definitely going to be out because I know he broke his hand. He was out this weekend, but you can play soccer with a broken hand depending on how you cast it. So, depending on if they're involved, I think Son is going to be vitally important for Tottenham to get back into this. And I'm sure Tottenham's going to be playing a counterattacking system. So, I mean, City are the favorites, and I expect them to go through still, but Tottenham's not completely out of it.
Yeah, so I just need your opinion on something. How do you feel? So Dele Alli, he broke his hand in that game, right?
Yes.
So how do you feel about players laying down as if they can't walk off with a broken hand?
Yeah, well, I get it from the standpoint of they're wasting time, but they were up 1-0 at that time, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, so
Pretty sure.
I get it. I mean, it's absurd. Like, he can absolutely walk with a broken hand, but I get why he does it. It'll be interesting to see next year when the new FIFA rules come into play, where substitutes have to leave on the closest boundary. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. That'll be in effect actually this summer at the Gold Cup, Copa America, and the Women's World Cup.
Everyone's going to walk right to the center circle when they know they're coming off.
Probably.
They're just going to literally walk straight to the center circle.
Oh, yeah. What's there's another weird rule where, so the other weird rule, sorry, I'm hijacking this just for a second. Players can touch the ball, defensive players can touch the ball in the 18-yard box on goal kicks, too. That's a new rule coming out. So, yeah, look for that this summer. Shout out Total Soccer Show for that, because I didn't realize that until they were talking about it.
Wow.
That's good. Yeah, that way, because, if you pass it, you can, it just wastes time. You touch it, and, you reset the goal kick. I like that rule.
Yeah.
Right now, you could do it. So, you can't do that anymore.
Cool. All right. So, we'll come back to the preview after. Liverpool. Did either of you watch the game?
No, because it was DR Live.
Okay. It was also in Unimas. So I watched that one. And Liverpool just looked the dominant team. They did give up a couple chances towards the end of the first half. But Liverpool looked completely in control of that game. They could have scored a couple more in the first half. And second half almost just looked like Liverpool just passed the ball around them. And there was never really a threat from Porto. And going away, I just expect them to be fine.
In the highlights, they did show Porto had two pretty good chances. Again, I didn't watch the match.
They were in the first half.
Yeah, in the first
right
half.
at the end of the first half.
Okay. But then the second half, nothing really happened.
Just completely calmed down. Okay. It's kind of the same way that the Chelsea game went this past weekend, where Hazard had those two chances.
But that was
early in the second half. But it was kind of like that. And then they just calmed down again and controlled the game. All right. So the other games that happened were Barcelona at Manchester United, and Juventus were at Ajax. So did you watch the Ajax versus Juve game? Either of you?
I watched the Barca.
Okay.
United.
So that game ended 1-1, the Juve Ajax match, and From what I've heard, I didn't get to watch it either, but I've heard that Ajax completely dominated the game, and that's actually a surprise to me. I expected Juve to just be the more experienced team, but Ajax just are one of those tricky teams that it's just hard to figure them out right now. They have a lot of like raw talent, and they do have a system that seems to be working.
But I think Juve is that typical Italian team where they can get dominated, quote unquote, but still come out with a draw, which they're perfectly happy with, or even like a 1-0 win or something like that. So I think Juve is just so stout defensively, and they'd be comfortable letting Ajax have possession. So I wouldn't read too much into Ajax dominating. It'll be interesting to see what happens, at are they the Allianz, right? They're Allianz.
They're Allianz Stadium, yeah.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see because I think Juve's heavy favorites to go through.
Matt, what do you think?
So I missed both games. I saw highlights and kind of like saw like the match facts. But I mean, like about Ajax, they kind of are reminding me of the Monaco team when Mbappe was there a couple years ago with all the young talents. And I mean, people like undersold them for so long, and until they actually start beating good teams like City, they beat City and Dortmund that year. And I think they made the Champions League semifinals. So, I mean, maybe this Ajax team could do the same thing with, beating Madrid and Juve.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Move on to the next game. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. I did watch this one. Did you guys? Nope.
Barcelona
Definitely not.
Manchester
United. That's
right?
So weird that happened. They're just both despicable teams. They just are the same. Matt, did you watch the Barca versus United game?
No.
He said he
just said that.
Did he say no?
Yeah, our listening comprehension on this program is not the greatest.
It's just the best. It is really just top notch. All right, so Dave, since you did watch it, what were your thoughts on the game? Ended 1-0 to Barcelona.
Yeah, so I was seriously sleep deprived, so I was in and out. That was when you came in and stuck a napkin in my mouth once I fell asleep.
That did happen.
Right after. But overall, I thought Barcelona just looked comfortable. Even once they got that lead, they pretty much sat back. Busquets had a couple really weird passes in the first half, and PK had another one where they were doing some weird things that you wouldn't necessarily expect from Barcelona, but that sort of settled down. I can't recall too many chances from United in the match, and I want to say Barcelona had another really good opportunity where De Gea had a good kick save. Am I remembering that correctly? Yeah. So overall, I thought Barcelona got the result they needed, got an away goal, didn't give up anything, and, again, I would expect them to go through.
Yeah, I thought Barcelona just controlled the game. It really wasn't that good from United. I didn't think they were that bad either. Early on in that match, until Barca scored, it looked like Barcelona were going to win 3 or 4-0. And then United almost just dropped into a shell and didn't even try and play them. They just let them kind of have their game. And they had a couple of counterattacks that looked dangerous, but Barca just got back in time to just shut them down. And I think that they have the pace in that United team to trouble Barcelona on the road. And if they score an early away goal, it will cause problems for Barcelona, but I still expect them to get through. So we're going to snake this right back. Same teams, opposite direction, staying Barcelona and Real Madrid. Or, my God, again? Barcelona versus Manchester United. What do you think happens in this game, David?
Barcelona wins.
How so?
2-0.
2-0, okay. Matt, what do you think?
I mean, I think Barcelona's going to win, but I already have my prediction from earlier. I think United's going to go through. I don't think that, but I'm just saying United's still going through. Barcelona should win.
Because I thought Real Madrid was playing.
Did I say Real Madrid?
I love
so funny.
No, he's just making jokes and cracking himself up.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So both of you picked Barca to go through?
Yeah,
Matt just picked Barca and then said
kind of
Madrid to go through.
It
happened again.
All right, Matt picked United.
I can't deal with this.
All right, it's fine. We forgive you.
I hate them. I can't even say their name. Yeah, I picked Barca going through. I think pretty comfortably. And Juve versus Ajax. Matt, I'll go with you. What do you think happens in this game?
Juve wins 3-0.
Juve wins 3-0. Wow, that's a very comprehensive victory. Dave, what do you think?
I'll say Juve wins 3-1.
Wow, you guys are very confident in Juve here. I'm picking a Juve 2-1 victory, and it's going to be very nervy. All right, so final 2 games on Wednesday are going to be Here we go. Porto versus Liverpool. Porto are hosting Liverpool. What do you think's happened in this one, Dave?
1-1.
1-1. Okay. Matt?
I like that scoreline 1-1.
I'm picking Liverpool to win this one 2-1. I think Liverpool gets the first goal, and then it's just too much for Porto to come back from. And Manchester City hosting Tottenham. Matthew, let's hear what you got for this one.
So, trying to split the difference of what happened last round. So, I'd say 4-0.
Okay. Dave?
I'll say 3-1 City. I'll say Tottenham, makes it nervy, but ultimately City, gets the result that they need.
I am predicting a 2-1 win for Manchester City.
I forgot about
Go ahead, Matt.
Matt.
Sorry, you guys cut out there. Yes. So one thing hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I can't see you guys. So I think. Oh yeah, I wanted to address this when we were doing the recap of the City Tottenham game. I don't know why Pep waited till the 89th minute to bring on De Bruyne and Sané.
That
made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, that was.
I just wanted to throw that out there. I think. Yeah, I don't know.
I think, Matt, you might be on just a slight delay, but I thought that was really weird as well for him to wait that long. I heard, they were saying that I think Pep came out and said the Palace match was more important this weekend than the Tottenham match in Champions League last week because he viewed Champions League second leg as more important. And so maybe that was a factor. But I also thought it was really weird that he waited that long to make those substitutions.
Yeah. And I think that he played most of his starters this week against Crystal Palace. So maybe he was telling the truth there. Yeah. I expect them to come out flying, though, at the Etihad. But I see them scoring first, but I see Spurs scoring the second goal and it just being too much. City do score a second, but I think it's going to end 2-1.
And Tottenham
gets through in this one, which is just utterly shocking to me. But then City are just going to tear them apart at the weekend at the Etihad again.
I'd honestly prefer the opposite.
I would too, but I just don't see it happening. Okay, so that's the Champions League. I hope everyone's excited. You're going to be able to watch them on TV, get some good games in. I can't believe Liverpool's actually the game that's on TV this week. That's surprising. Yeah, it is.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. It doesn't say it on here right now, does it?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Okay, sorry. The app said it was. Okay. It makes more sense that Man City versus Tottenham would be.
Yeah, there's no way that he's putting on that match.
Okay, well, either way, enjoy the soccer that's happened in this week in the Champions League. And thanks for stopping by Christian's Corner. And we'll be back with Dave's Domestic Dives right after this musical break.
Musical. What's up, everybody? Wanted to give a quick plug for our partner, FNX.network. FNX.network is a website you want to check out for all different kinds of content, sports, video games, entertainment, lifestyle, tech, and more. All of that is available over on FNX.network. Go check it out. Support our stuff. Support all kinds of awesome partners on FNX.network.
Support everybody's stuff.
Support everybody. Everybody getting that support.
Everybody in the club.
Everybody. All right.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dave's Domestic Dives. Get excited, guys. We're talking about what's happening in U.S. soccer, at least things affecting U.S. soccer. So first topic I want to get to, Gold Cup groups were announced this week. United States is in a group with Panama, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Guyana. Tobago? Potato,
Tobago.
Christian, what do you expect from the U.S. group? What do you make of, the U.S. being in a group with TNT? Obviously they knocked us out of
World Cup. They're dynamite.
Matt, what do you think about the U.S.'s group?
So I think we do have one of the tougher groups for the Gold Cup. So, but I still expect us fully to win our group. Maybe 2 wins and a draw. And we've looked good under Berhalter. I think we can't come out and kind of embarrass ourselves again in another tournament or a qualifier, especially in CONCACAF play. So I think we should come out strong.
Who's the tie against?
Guyana.
With Warren Koval.
Wait, Panama, right?
Panama, TNT, and
So
Guyana.
Panama. Yeah. So I'll say Panama.
Okay, Christian, what do you think about the group?
I think this is a favorable group for us. I think we're going to be very fired up for that dynamite matchup with TNT. Haha. But I think that it's 3 wins in this group, and it's a pretty dominant victories in each. I think Panama will be our closest opponent, but they're in transition, right? They were just way too old before, even when they went to the World Cup. So they're not going to be the same team that we're used to playing the past, I guess, 2 cycles probably, and we should easily see ourselves through these 3 matches.
I agree with that. The other kind of interesting wrinkle is in previous Gold Cups, you could make up to 6 roster changes in between the group stage and the knockout round. So a lot of times we would rest players in the group stage. So maybe you wouldn't call in your strongest lineup for the group stage. That's out the window. So the U.S. is going to call in a strong roster. Obviously, under Berhalter, they want to make an impact. So I'm in agreement. I think they come through 3 wins here and make a serious statement. Matt, anything else you want to add? Want to take that silence?
Nope.
No. Christian, what about you?
Nope.
All right. Next up, we had SKC playing in the CONCACAF Champions League last week. They played Monterrey from Liga MX. They lost 10-2 on aggregate. Christian, does this loss say anything about MLS, or is it just simply, is there any broader things to take away from this, or is it just, they came up against a buzzsaw?
Well, you could look at Arsenal losing 10-2 to Bayern Munich as well in the Champions League over 2 legs a similar way. Like, it has no statement on the actual league. I think that Monterrey were just the better team against Sporting Kansas City. Yes, I think Liga MX is a better league right now than MLS. They are catching up, but this game was not a good indication of that. SKC were one of our more organized and better teams that you would not expect them to get dominated this way. Just the way that they play, they're usually very organized and they don't give up many goals. But this week, those 2 legs, they were just embarrassingly poor, and Monterrey really exposed their weaknesses. And we really have some catching up to do in MLS to really challenge, but I think we are getting there slowly.
Matt, any thoughts on this result?
So I think it reflects poorly on the MLS without it.
Okay, we're
that big of a deal.
Matt a little bit.
Matt looks horrible in the media and things like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it means too much on the MLS as a whole. I think we all know we're still growing. You guys.
All right, we're losing Matt's internet connection here. I'm just going to take over, and hopefully we can get him back. Apologies for all of that. I think that SKC came out and just played way too aggressive, and they played naively. I think that they needed to come out and play a much more defensive style, and they came out, tried to press. They tried to play the way that they had been playing, and Monterrey just straight up is more talented than them. I mean, Seth Sinovic was just getting absolutely exposed in the matchup. I only watched the first leg, and Sinovic was just getting run over by the Monterrey winger out there, and he was fantastic. And Sporting KC just didn't have the players. This is a really critical offseason for MLS with the CBA. And, right now, Monterrey had a payroll, I think, 3 times the size of Sporting Kansas City. And at the end of the day, rosters in soccer generally are reflective of how much you pay for them. And so if you pay more, the quality is better. And it's a pretty simple equation. I know there are other things you can do to get creative and build up academies and things like that. But at the end of the day, MLS needs to spend more if they want to compete with Liga MX. So I don't think this is an indictment like MLS is, 5 times worse than Liga MX or something like that. But it definitely isn't a great sign for the league. Matt, I'm going to try to go back to you, but I'm not sure how your internet is. So thoughts? Matt, I think you might be on mute. I see your mouth moving, but I'm not hearing anything. Yep. No, okay. Technical issues here. Why don't you take off the headset? Maybe that's... Nope. God damn it. This is going to be such a pain in the ass to edit. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Now I can hear you.
I disconnected from my internet. So, did you hear any of what I said?
Okay,
no.
Now I can hear you, though.
No, but we can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
Yep. Is that a yep? What about now? How about now?
Can you guys hear me?
No,
Okay, great. Did you guys hear?
No, it's really weird. Okay, I think you may have been disconnecting from the headset. So I think we're good now. But now you're far away from the mic.
Said annoyingly, kind of like a lot of what I said. I said it reflects poorly on the MLS from like the. Okay. No. I said it reflects poorly. Oh my god. MLS in the media, but that's basically like not an indictment on the MLS. It looks bad, but it's not. It doesn't mean much for the league. Like I said, we know we're growing. And it's something that we're not there with League MX. What is going on over there?
I don't know if you're delayed. I think you might be delayed for some reason. Like your mouth is moving, but then we hear the words a lot later, and you're breaking up a little bit. But I think we got the gist of it. I don't want to. Let's try to move on, and maybe the next segment will be better, right? I don't know.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Matt.
It sounded like what you were saying was just top notch.
Yes, it was. Last thing we wanted to talk about here is Kaku, the New York Red Bulls player. All right, Matt's gone. Last thing we want to talk about here is Kaku, New York Red Bulls playmaker. The end of the SKC match on Sunday, the match was 2-2. I think Red Bulls at that point were already down a player. I can't remember if they were. No, okay, the red card that I saw was his. But he was frustrated. The ball was near the touchline on the side, and he went to go kick the ball as hard as he could, and it ended up kicking it right at a fan's face. I mean, he took a hard-ass shot from, 5 yards away from the fan, something like that. Ejected. Christian, you were the one that made me aware of this situation because I was watching Game of Thrones. What do you think about Kaku, not Kaka, Kaku doing this? How long should his suspension be? What do you think?
Well, I want to start by saying if you weren't here with me, I might have signed off too because this guy, that was just horrendous what he did. And it was really that bad. I was watching the game live, and when he first kicked it, I was like, wait a second. Did he just kick that ball at that guy's face? And then both teams came in. It was just a pile up of everybody was fighting each other. He was removed from the game and got a red card. I don't think the ref saw it though, because VAR got involved. And once it was seen, obvious red card. Other people got yellow cards from the VAR review.
The fracas. But
it really is unacceptable that he did that. Me and you talked about this earlier. I agree he was trying to kick it against the boards, like out of frustration, which you see people do all the time. That would have been a yellow card, obviously. This is unacceptable, though, and it has to be a heavy punishment because you cannot have this happening. That can cause serious damage to somebody, and he really hit that ball hard right into the guy in the first row. And
right in his face, didn't it?
Hit him in the face. Yeah. And
that dude took it like a champ.
Yeah, he went down, but he got back up. He
gets knocked down, but he gets up again.
You're never gonna keep him down. Yeah, no, I got it. But I'm thinking probably 8 to 10 games of a suspension and a heavy fine.
All right, way to take a lot of the points that I texted you about from me. So Matt,
I would rather them just get rid of the Red Bulls altogether, but it's fine.
All right, Matt, did you see the play that we're talking about? I know we lost you for a minute there. Do you know what we're talking about?
No idea.
Okay. Kaku at the end of the SKC match ended up kicking the ball as hard as he could into the stands. So he was about 5 yards away from the end line. Christian and I, from the touchline, Christian and I both agree that he was trying to kick the ball at the advertising boards as a sign of frustration. But it ended up being that he ended up missing the advertising boards and just drilling a fan in the face. We're not laughing at that for anyone who might be confused. Matt's on YouTube, Matt's crooked, so we're playing around with that. So I just wanted to clarify that so people don't think we're laughing at the guy getting kicked in the face. But Matt, from your perspective, if a guy kicks the ball as hard as he can at a fan from 5 yards away and hits him in the face, what do you think the suspension should be?
So, I mean, it seems incidental, but I mean, you still have to suspend them. I think 5 or less. I don't know about 8 to 10 games. That seems pretty severe, but I think 4 or 5 games, that should be a decent suspension.
So for me, I think it needs to be bigger because he hit a fan. I know somebody was trying to reference like Eric Cantona when he went in and he kicked that Crystal Palace fan. This wasn't the same situation. No. This wasn't a Ron Artest going into the stands and trying to fight somebody. This wasn't an Eric Cantona going in and kicking him. I think legitimately Kaku was frustrated and he was kicking the ball, which we see from soccer players all the time, kicking it into the advertising boards. He just missed and he ended up hitting a fan, which he needs to pay the penalty for it. And from the optics, it looked really bad. Whether his intentions were that or not, like from the optics, he needs to be suspended at least a quarter of the season from my perspective, which is why I said 8 games or so.
That's what I said.
Yeah, which I said it first, but you want to take it, so I let you talk first.
Nah.
But yeah, okay. Christian, anything else you want to add?
No.
Matthew.
No.
Okay. 2 quick things I wanted to mention before we wrap things up here. Jesse Marsch got the RB Salzburg head manager position. So quick thoughts, Christian?
Good for him, but I don't know. I don't know how good he's going to be, but I hope he does well.
Matthew?
Yeah, I agree with Christian.
All right. It's cool seeing an American getting a top European job because this is a pretty important job. I mean, they're generally top of the Australian Bundesliga. Austrian, not Australian. That'd be weird.
That'd be a weird Bundesliga.
Austrian Bundesliga, and regularly in Champions League. I think he's going to be the first American manager managing in the Champions League. So, hopefully he paves the way for other Americans to get over there. So that would be good. Other thing I wanted to quickly bring up, Gianluca Busio, 16-year-old for SKC, scored in his 3rd consecutive match. Matthew, any quick thoughts on that?
It's impressive. Keep the form up. But I think it's important at a young age. Like, I think it's easier to, do well. But then once you have your first dip, I think that's when you have to understand that you kind of go through the peaks and valleys, and you got to get through those valleys.
Christian, thoughts?
I think that he is a very interesting talent at 16 years old, and I hope that he continues to progress and does well, but who knows? I mean, he's 16, he's getting in the right positions, and he is scoring the goals, which is arguably the most difficult thing to do in the sport, probably inarguably the most difficult thing to do in the sport, is score goals, and it's incredible that he's doing that at his age.
Yeah. Props to him. Obviously, it's amazing. I don't think we've really seen this from someone at that age really breaking through. I guess Tyler Adams was 17. I guess Freddie Adu, but he wasn't really making quite as an impact. And granted, Gianluca Busio is not, it's not like he's incredibly impactful. A lot of these opportunities have come when Sporting Kansas City has been in Champions League and it's been rotated squads, but still, he's taking his chance. So props to him for that. Before we get to our listener questions, quick plug for the Soccer Tavern. Go check it out. It's a YouTube channel making videos about the history, culture, and philosophy of the beautiful game. Got a couple questions live on YouTube, which is always fun. Thank you for people joining us live on YouTube. Does anyone know the gap 10 years ago when it came to spending between Liga MX and MLS teams? I would imagine it was much bigger than what it is now. I don't have the specific answers for you. Ardovdo, is that how we would pronounce that? Ardovdo? User Ardovdo asked that. Guys, any thoughts there? Christian?
I have no idea.
Matthew?
I mean, you're probably going to give the most accurate guess, but I assume it's probably like 10 times as much.
$7.
Yeah, it's gotten exponentially greater from an MLS perspective, and they're closing the gap. It's just not quick enough for a lot of people's perspectives. Next question. Do you guys watch Liga MX on a weekly basis? I do not. I used to watch a little bit of it when on Sling TV we had the Hispanic and Spanish channels, but we don't have them anymore, so I don't get to watch it too often. We watched some on Friday.
I actually watched a little bit last night.
Yeah,
too.
when we were home. That league is so much fun because it's you never know what to expect.
It's
like there's red
madness.
cards. Team won 9-2 this weekend. I don't even think there were ejections in that game. It was just like you never know what's going to happen in that league, and it's just a lot of fun. And question from Drew Pels. What's up, Drew? Thanks for tuning in here. Matt, who sits on the Iron Throne at the end of the season?
Gendry,
yeah. I wanted to be Gendry. I wanted to be Jon Snow, but I don't think I don't think it's going to happen. And really, I think it's ultimately going to be Cersei, and this is just going to this whole thing is just a pointless exercise in at the end evil wins or something like that.
You always loved that way of thinking. You always said Littlefinger was going to sit on the Iron Throne at the end.
I did say that.
The last couple of years.
Just because I don't trust the authors and creators of the show to do something. But this is a soccer podcast, so let's get back to last listener question we had from...
I'm going to ask me.
Oh, Christian. Who do you think is going to sit on the Iron Throne? Because
I think it's going to be that snow monster guy.
Christian's a huge Game of Thrones fan. All right,
the big undead dragon.
There you go. All right, last listener question back to the soccer from World Hotspur. That's our friend Will. U.S. has a lot of young up-and-coming talent. Who are you most excited to see potentially break into the USMNT over the next couple of years? Christian, thoughts? Any young players?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
Matt, you can think. Matt?
So that haven't really broken through yet.
Yeah, so I could even throw
Okay.
Sargent
Busio
or
can?
Weah in
Is
there.
he in
Yeah,
that
Busio can. Yeah, Matt.
Okay, yeah. So the one I'm most hopeful for is Weah because I think he is the chance to be our best player. But I'm excited to see Gideon how he does at SKC and see if he can get back into national camps. I think he was starting for what was it, the U20s when he tore his ACL, or was it the 23s?
Yeah, he was at the U20 World Cup.
And that was like supposed to be our good a good roster, and he was doing well at center mid, but then his knee went to not work. But let's see if he can get back.
Okay.
His knee just didn't work anymore.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see him get back into some sort of form. We just have so much talent coming through at center midfield. I'm actually looking for Sergino Dest, the outside back for Ajax, the right fullback. I think he could be someone really interesting to see. And then Conrad de la Fuente, the Barcelona winger, 17 years old. He's already playing with the U20s for the US. And so I wouldn't be shocked if he's involved in Olympic qualifying. So U23s, again, I think winger is a huge, opportunity for players. As much as I like to say Paul Areola is doing well, I think he's doing fine, but he's not the answer. Corey Barrett isn't the answer. Pulisic looks like he's going to be played through the middle. So there's opportunities for Weah, for other players out wide. And, Sargent obviously would be huge to break through at a center forward. Josie's getting older and nobody's really grabbing that, second forward position. And so Sargent hopefully will break through. And so those are the players that I'm thinking of. Christian, anyone else?
Busio is a winger, right?
Busio, I think he's more of a center. Yeah, I think he's more of a center midfielder. I think they've been playing him in attacking positions, but I don't know enough about him, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, 16 years old, scored in 3 straight games in MLS. That's a huge deal. So I hope he keeps going.
Yeah, who knows? Paxton Pomykal is tearing it up for FC Dallas. He's another center midfielder. Brendan Aronson, who knows?
Oh, yeah, that's another one that's very interesting. So, what about Austin or McKenzie?
Yeah, Austin's an interesting one because there's not a ton of left-footed center backs in the U.S. player pool.
Brooks, but
yeah, there's one, and then Tim Ream, right?
Oh, boy.
But so Austin, if he can sort of clean up his game a little bit, I think he's still
Austin Trusty there.
Yeah, sorry, Austin Trusty. I mean, he's only 20 years old, so he's getting game time. Miazga was getting time at this point, and then parlayed that into a move overseas. So if Austin gets another year under his belt, I don't think he's ready for Europe yet. The way Miazga was, but if he gets another year or so, I think he could potentially, take that next step. Matt, you had something else to add?
So I was watching ESPN FC yesterday, and I think Berhalter was on, and he was making it seem like Pulisic isn't going to be in this midfield. Almost, it made it seem like wingers. You said like wingers are going to be exciting. I think Weah and Pulisic could be our wingers for long term, and I feel like it's going to be tough for a lot of people to break through.
I hope so.
In that position.
Honestly.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, but just based off of the way Berhalter played Pulisic in his 2 matches so far, he played him through the middle. So if not, then we need to find a center attacking midfielder who's going to be influential. I mean, Leggett could potentially be that.
I think Nagby should still be there.
Nagby's not a 10. Nagby, he doesn't do he's a shuttler. He takes the ball from the defense and gets it to the attacking third. Once he gets to the attacking third, he just loses his shit and he can't function. And it's so frustrating because he's so talented, because he can beat a guy on the dribble. He's so smooth in possession, but it's just for whatever reason, once he gets to the final third, he just can't function. And so, if you want to go with dual 8s and you want to have McKennie and Nagby in there with Tyler Adams or someone like that, or if you want to go Adams at right back and then you put Bradley or Trapp, maybe that's good enough. I still don't think Trapp is I think Trapp's good enough in CONCACAF play, but I just don't think he's good enough at the elite level to make an impact at defensive center midfielder. So there's an area of opportunity as well. So I don't know. It's an interesting time to be following the U.S. national team. You have this huge gap between players that are sort of aging out and then young players breaking through. And like we've been saying, that middle pack of players just weren't talented enough. And so, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Gold Cup. Anything else to add, Christian?
Nope.
Matt?
Nope.
You want to recap our trivia question?
I would love to try.
Okay.
Can you guys name the team that has won the most league titles in each of the top 5 European leagues and how many they won?
Okay.
Oh, how many they won?
Yeah. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
We could just I'll do one at a time. So England.
Oh, okay.
Dave.
I was like, why are you going to tell us the answers?
Okay.
Manchester United with 20.
Matt, would you like to guess?
No, that's correct.
All right, La Liga. Matt.
I'm gonna say Real Madrid with, I don't know, like 34.
Dave?
I'm going to say Barcelona with 36.
Matt, Real Madrid with 33. Very
Damn.
close.
How many does Barca have? Does it say?
Barca has 25.
Oh, that was way off.
Serie A. David.
Juventus with 38.
Matthew.
AC Milan with 27.
All right. It is Juventus with 34. AC Milan and Inter are an 18 each behind. So, Bundesliga. Matthew.
Bayern Munich with 4,000.
Do you want to actually guess, or you just...
All right, I'll say like 45.
Okay.
The Bundesliga's only been around since 1963. So, and Bayern didn't start winning until the 70s. So, I'll say Bayern with 23.
Bayern with 27.
Damn.
And the next most is Borussia Mönchengladbach and Borussia Dortmund. So, the Borussians right behind on 5.
Fun fact, Borussia is the word for Prussia in, I believe it was Latin, and Borussia Mönchengladbach is named for the region, whereas Borussia Dortmund named for the brewery. You can look for more information like that with our upcoming Bundesliga videos for the Soccer Tavern.
The Soccer Tavern. So we'll do Ligue 1 to wrap it up. David.
Olympique Lyonnais with 18.
Matthew.
Yeah, I would say Lyon with 21.
All right. Lyon is not even in the top 4. So the number 1 team is Saint-Etienne with 10. Marseille has 9 and is behind them.
Lyon won like 7 or 8 straight at one point.
Correct.
They're not in the top?
Nope.
Those were the only ones they've won?
Yeah.
I figured they would have picked up a couple
Nantes
others.
and Monaco each have 8 and they're behind.
All right. There you are, listeners. Hopefully you did better.
What did PSG
than we
have?
did.
PSG has like 3 or 4, whatever they've won recently. I think they only had 1 before that. Whatever they've won recently and 1 before that.
Matt's skeptical.
They have definitely won more than 3.
Ibra
whatever
won
they
3
won.
himself.
Yeah, whatever by himself.
Ibra
Literally
just won
nobody
3.
else.
He's on the field by himself. All right. Listeners, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Appreciate you guys bearing with us as we lost Matt and then got him back and dealt with all those technical issues. Thank you for everybody who joined us live on YouTube. We really appreciate that. Shout out Drew and Revodo, our Dovdo. Dovdo. Thank you guys for being here. Listeners, thank you so much. If you liked what you heard, please consider leaving us a review wherever you listen. It greatly helps us out. 5 stars or 7 stars. No, 7 titles for PSG. Okay, so there you go. Please consider leaving us a review. iTunes reviews help the most. So it only takes a couple seconds and would really, really help us out. So please consider doing that if you liked what you heard. Christian, what's going on with our Slack channel?
Our Slack channel, you can join and talk with us or anyone who's involved in our Slack channel. So you can talk about soccer. We've got a bunch of different channels in there that talk about the top 5 European leagues, international soccer, MLS, transfer rumors, all this good stuff. There's a general category where you can talk about anything you want in your life. So if you want to join, please tweet at us at BTSoccerPod or email us at bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com.
Yep, awesome stuff. Matthew, where can people find us, our website?
They can go to any internet browser and type in brostalkingsoccer.com.
And what can people do there?
They can see past episodes. They can see YouTube links. They can read about us. You know, we're great guys. There's also a store link where you can go to the Amazon store. It's no additional cost to you. It just helps us
Support
every week. It just helps support the show.
Yeah, it greatly helps us out. As much fun as we have doing this and whatnot, there's, cost for hosting, there's cost for the website and everything like that. And, it's all out of pocket. So no additional cost to you and just a couple extra steps. And it really helps us out. So if you're buying anything on Amazon, consider doing that. It's super easy to do. And we greatly appreciate it. Christian, thanks for allowing me into your bedroom to record this week.
Dave, it's been my honor to have you.
Matthew, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm sorry I was being an issue earlier.
It's okay. We're used to it. Go Sixers. And listeners, most importantly, thank you all for joining us. We'll be back with an interview. If you are live on YouTube, we're going to be back in about an hour or so with the guys from Who Kicked the Corner Flag. If you're listening to the podcast, that podcast will be out on Thursday. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you soon. See you, everybody. All right. And Drew, thank you for being here. Anyone else who has joined us and
Snow
has
monster guy.
made it through,
Who did,
appreciate
who
it.
did kick the quarter flag?
All right. See you guys.
Who did it?